following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
This is PBA champion Kyle Troop, and you're listening to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. As you know, JP Jr. used to be introduced as the sexiest man in bowling, and now the world. But he doesn't have the best hair in the world. I do. Sorry, bud, but you know the deal. Pick it out. Fear the fro, baby.
Welcome to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. A hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the world of bowling. This podcast will not only cover all things bowling, but will also give you a raw look into real-life issues. You'll get unfettered access into the mind of one of the most gifted bowlers of this or any other generation. So without further ado, let's introduce you to the hosts of the show. Rad Rob Francois. Rad Rob Francois. Dr. Ocho. And the incomparable Johnny Petraglia Jr. Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. This is episode number 52. I can't believe we didn't acknowledge the fact we had 50 episodes a couple weeks ago. But since we go live, I don't usually let everybody know what episode we're on, but this is episode 52. And Ocho is not here. I don't know what he's doing, possibly doing daddy duty. I'm not sure what's going on. Usually he's fashionably late, but right now he's more than that. He's unfashionably late. So we'll introduce the man with the plan, the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, who is very impressed with the special gift I had at the top of the show. Oh, wait, hold on. No, fuck it. No, he can wait. Johnny Petraglia Jr., what's up, buddy?
I guess I picked a good day to get my hair cut, all things considered, with that intro. I mean, I have the fro, but at least I got some fresh lines. Thank you. So I'm obviously assuming that was a gift from you.
Yes, it was.
That was, I'm sitting here and like getting the mindset right for the show. And I'm like, think about the amount of things that could go right tonight, this and that. And we're going to have a great show, this and that. And then out of nowhere, see my homie at Player of the Year. What a great job he did on that too. So thank you very much thanks for the early Christmas present there. That was pretty sweet.
You were absolutely welcome. And he's awesome. He literally did that cameo in like about an hour. So he's a good dude, and he's full of charisma. And hey, that's why people love him.
Absolutely
and,
right.
I knew you'd love that. I waited for 2 days. I didn't want to tell you about it. I'm like, God, I just can't wait to show it to him. But it was good stuff.
I can't believe you kept your mouth shut about it. And what a great job he did in it too.
Yes.
I mean, that was really, really good. That pumped me up.
It was really good. I wrote the script for it, and he read it verbatim, and yeah, he knocked it out of the park. So
that's good stuff. How you doing this evening, Bill? Hope all is well. I told Susie I'd call her back 2 hours ago. She's probably still waiting. So thanks for showing up and reminding me that I forgot to call Susie back again.
So sorry, I guess we can introduce our other co-host here, since he's finally here sitting in the green room in timeout right now. He's being scolded. We should just start the show and just pump him in.
Wait a minute.
What?
Did he know?
No.
Because if he didn't see the intro, he still doesn't know.
He does not know anything about it.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's great.
I don't think he deserves to see it, honestly. He can wait till next week. Or he can watch the replay like everybody else. Joining us is the third man of the team. Hey, Dave Pico. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Dave. I've made an executive decision to at least try and throw a bowling ball this week. Or I'm sorry, not this week. At the end of next week, not on a league night. I think there's really only 2, possibly 3 more weeks of bowling on Tuesday before the holiday break, which is an extra 2 weeks off. So I'll go test the waters just to see. But right now, the biggest problem is there's no more pain, but the extreme discomfort and achiness because the nerves are still trying to repair themselves it's very hard for me to get into my pivot step, and the trouble leg is the left leg, and using any kind of force to project myself forward into my slide, even screwing around the house is like really, really difficult. Suze, I already apologized. If you'd have come to the show earlier, you would have seen our special guest intro, and you would have seen that I already apologized. So you're just about 5 minutes too late. So I'm sorry again, publicly. See how quick she was? I tried to beat her to the punch, and I barely did it. I barely did it.
So what's
but at
new
least
Johnny?
now Susie knows that I got a haircut, because I did tell her I would talk to her after my haircut. So.
It is a sweet haircut, though. I will give you props for that. So let
Thanks,
everybody
buddy.
know what's kind of been going on since last week as far as your back injury, and what have you done to kind of get around and get limber again?
Nothing. My like I said, my epidural is not scheduled until the end of December, till after Christmas. And in the meantime, everything is just kind of, I'm taking it as easy as humanly possible. So that's really that's it. I'm trying to get out and do some things. Like I went out with a good friend, Greg, and his mother to dinner last night in Rochelle. So that was awesome. I've been getting out of that. I drove myself to go get my haircut. So I'm starting to do normal things. I went to watch one day of the whatever tournament was at South Point that I went to watch. The Southern Nevada Masters. But other than those three things, not really much. Dan, good to see you. I appreciate that. Kev, good to see you as well. Susie, I know I'm fired. I appreciate it. Yeah. And meanwhile, I wanted my friggin' window, my automatic window in my driver's side. I went to roll it down to have a smoke on the way home, and the window just fell into the door, just fell off. So I had to handle that once I got home. So that's another reason why I didn't get back to you.
I mean, that's a good reason, right?
Yeah. But all in all, when it's all said and done, I'm in no pain, and it's just I could tell the nerves are healing in a way I've never experienced before. Everything just feels a little twisted in there still. So the main weakness is between the knee and the foot, but overall everything's right on pace as it's good.
Ocho left, so it's just you and me, buddy.
No way he left. I mean, we did leave him there for approximately 10 minutes.
It's true, but he deserves it, right? I mean, that's all
I don't necessarily think that. I mean, I think we should make sure he's okay. Has he come back?
No, I'll text him. Please come back.
I just messaged him too.
We love you.
So anyway, we can, if you want, we can. I want to say one thing. Considering we were talking about league and when I'm coming back, I want to give a shout out to two people. Dave Rosenbaum, an active listener to our show, and also my league teammate on Tuesday nights. Had the luxury of bowling against one of our previous guests on this show, George Gohagan, last night. So at approximately 10:15 or so p.m., right after league gets done, I got a message from Dave that says, only won 1 point tonight. And he sent me a picture of his score sheet, and he bowled 240, 240, and 300 the last game for 781.
Wow. And
he only sends me a picture of our team's score sheet. And then I go, well, dude, not for nothing, you average 260 tonight, whether you win 1 point or 4. If you average 260 every single night, you're going to win over 75% of your points anyway. Don't let it get to you. I'm saying all this shit. And then he puts up a picture of the whole score sheet. And who did he bowl against? George Gohagan.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, GG3 is awesome, dude. We got to get him back on the show for sure. Speaking of which,
absolutely,
we need to get Marshall Kent back because, goddamn, he was fun to talk to. Super cool dude.
Yeah, it's hunting season for Marshall. Marshall's in Montana, then so he's kind of a hard guy to reach right now, which is understandably so. But he's doing well, and he looks great. Everything's good, and I'm sure everybody's kind of curious what he's going to make decision-wise as far as the next ball company goes with now that Big Bowling is no more.
I wasn't aware of that.
I'm sure that'll be.
Did they? When did they announce that?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened. I wasn't sure if they just didn't pay the product registration fee or if they no longer are producing bowling balls. I think it's the first one. I think that the PBA certification fee. Susie wants to be a guest on the show one day, but I think that would be fine. We can plan that. but I have to
Absolutely.
have a list of questions prepared for her.
Yes, for sure.
Oh, she wrote it on my phone too. You see it? I didn't even read it there either. Well, anyway, whether Ocho's coming or not, I think we should at least dive into one of the first topics, which I did minimal research on per what you sent me, but I did scout it out a little bit. So why don't we talk about this year's PBA Hall of Fame induction class? Let's start there.
Yes, we're going to cover the PBA Hall of Fame class of 2023 and the USBC. I was actually kind of shocked at the PBA Hall of Fame, especially when it comes to one of the guys, which I would have assumed was in years ago, but apparently not. Pete McCordick, I mean, a guy who threw 300 on ABC, the Professional Bowlers Tour on ABC, was not in the Hall of Fame yet, and he's been around a long time. What were the reasons in your eyes why he was never voted in early, and why he's getting it so late in his career?
Truthfully, because based off Hall of Fame credentials, I don't think that Pete McCordick has them. I was always under the impression, I'm scrolling through here to make sure that I don't have his stats wrong because I don't want to give false information. Let's see here. See, even the little tidbit that they wrote on the PBA, they don't specify the amount of titles he won, but I'm almost 1,000% sure that Pete's not a 10-time titleist. So
actually, he
based
won
off
two titles.
PBA titles?
Yep.
Okay. So if the PBA votes people in for other avenues other than performance on the lanes, if they do it for, say, coaching, if they do it for meritorious service to the PBA, sports writing, some things like, for instance, Chuck Pisano is a PBA Hall of Fame member for sports writing.
Yep.
I mean, I don't want to take away from, somebody who's produced so many fond memories in the sport. I mean, I've known of and watched Pete McCordick bowl for my entire life. And
Me too,
he has certainly got one of the most memorable televised 300s ever.
Yep.
I mean, who can forget that lacquer surface and that shiny black rubber ball going down there? I mean, columns down separating 4 lanes. It was awesome. But that one, I'm a little, I just don't want to be nasty to somebody or sound nasty about somebody I know, but I don't know what he went in on what terms. If it was a USBC Hall of Fame, like, fine. I'm assuming, okay, right. Pete McCordick's been around the game a long time and he did something for USBC and ABC. But strictly PBA, that one kind of surprised me a little bit to see. What do you think?
Reading this story on PBA.com, it says he ran the Southwest region for 25 years. So overwhelmingly respected by the players for his consistency and his fairness, his excellence. He'll enter the Hall of Fame for his meritorious service to the game. So, hey, either way.
Okay, well, there's your answer.
Yeah, either way, getting in is a huge honor. And why he hasn't bowled on the tour for many years. He was at least involved with the PBA for the last 25 years, running the Southwest region. So that's cool. Totally. And look, I met him at Bradley Bowl. I met him at Bradley back in the day when the pros came back into town, and super, super nice guy. Like, took the time out to talk to a little punk kid that was just hanging around trying to get autographs and all that, and was always gracious with his time and always cool to me every time I saw him. So I'm actually happy for him to go in. Hello, Nicole Neff. Ocho was here. I don't know if he's coming back. His feelings are kind of hurt because he was late, and
it's pretty safe to say that if Ocho isn't here, he's catering to something that needs catered to, and he'll be here as soon as he can. But hi, Nicole.
Semantics.
I'm glad you mentioned that it was meritorious service because 25 years. What's up, Tim? How you doing, bro? It's great to see you still whacking him everywhere you go, dude.
Hey, Tim.
God, I remember caddying with Tim when we were like 10 years old, dude. It was so great. Anyway, what I was saying was, the hell was I just saying? God, what was I talking about? This always happens.
Pete McCordick?
Yeah, I mean, if you operate an entire PBA region for 25 years, and obviously Pete's respected by everybody he's ever come in contact with, that, and same goes for his brother. 100% he's supposed to be in the Hall of Fame for that. That's why I said it wasn't for PBA bowling excellence. It was for something else. Granted, he did create a lot of great memories and certainly had his fair share of television shows, couple wins, but yeah. And yeah, Lou, it certainly is old age, man. I was just telling Rob before we came on air, I said, it's the craziest thing. Like, my vision's a little blurred, and like, that's normal when I was really drinking a lot, but like, I'm stone cold sober and I can't read the clock anymore. It's like, oh, you're almost 40. Shit. Clock's ticking.
Catches up to you fast, my friend. It really does. Cheeks is in the house. What's up, Cheeks? The whole gang
What's
is
up,
here.
Jake? Good to see you.
Stuff. So also going in,
Joe.
also going in, Lenny Borish Jr. He won the 2022 Senior U.S. Open in June for his 5th PBA 50 title and second major, making him eligible for the Hall of Fame consideration. At his first opportunity of eligibility, he was elected and will enter the Hall of Fame in 2023. He is already a member of the USBC Hall of Fame, having been inducted there in 2012. He was completely shocked when Tom Clark broke the news to him, and he also owns the Bowler's Choice Pro Shop in Racine, Wisconsin. So, are you familiar with him at all, Johnny?
Oh yeah. Did they mention the tidbit there that he was a medalist for senior Team USA?
Let's see.
Pretty sure he bowled doubles with my dad a couple of years back at Samstown, and I'm almost positive he's medaled at least a few times. But yeah. So here's the thing about Lenny. Lenny's been one of the best bowlers in the world for a long time, and long before he made a statement on the senior tour, Lenny was a excellent player in the World Team Challenge eras, and Lenny continues to be a deadly force on the senior tour, USBC nationals. I mean, he always whacks them there too. Lenny just didn't bowl on the regular tour that much. So again, if you're going based off bowling and you're going based off just credentials for PBA excellence, I was under the impression it was 10 titles or 2 majors with a couple other titles in there. Like, for instance, a good example is Ryan Schaefer. I don't know if Ryan Schaefer is a Hall of Famer yet. I 100% believe Ryan Schaefer is a Hall of Famer, should be a Hall of Famer, but he's only won 4 or 5 titles. Even though he's got 13, 14 television shows and majors, he didn't win one. So by the book, Ryan Schaefer is not supposed to be in the Hall of Fame for bowling achievements. But how the hell could you not have Ryan Schaefer in the Hall of Fame type thing, right? That's how I feel about Lenny, because he won a senior major. Awesome feat, especially now because the senior tour is just as crazy good as the regular tour.
Yeah.
And all of the other stuff. But he's only won 5 titles on the senior tour. He's won a couple medals, which for Team USA, which I don't think necessarily include in the credentials to make somebody a Hall of Fame member.
Right.
So I think in Lenny's response and saying that he's completely shocked, he always figured he'd get there eventually. I believe that, because I believe that Lenny thinks he's going to win at least 5 more titles on the senior tour, and then he's a guaranteed lock for first in ballot.
Yeah.
But so I certainly think that he was surprised. To answer this question, I'm going to try and throw a bowling ball sometime next week. And if that goes way better than I plan, I will try and get back to my team at least once before they cut to the Christmas and New Year's break. And if none of that goes well, I'll probably just come after the first of the year, our first week back.
The third member going into the class of 2023, Fred Borden. Let's see. Coach, teacher, proprietor, and author. Fred Borden's impact on the PBA began at the very beginning. When Eddie Elias announced the formation of the PBA back in 1958, 17-year-old Borden was a resident of Akron, Ohio. He fast-tracked his devotion to bowling. When he was 15, he made up his mind that he wanted to own a bowling center or 2. But he knew he wasn't going to bowl professionally. His junior coach had the older kids coach the younger kids, and one of the kids that he coached bowled a 300 game. So he always respected coaches and respected the game. His credentials are pretty outstanding. I mean, the work he did with the PBA and his players since the 60s is unmatched. I mean, the art of coaching is something that he mastered, and the PBA was proud to recognize that skill and how important and influential he's been to the game. He's been a member of the USBC Hall of Fame since 2002. He owns 5 patents in the world of bowling. He's a former head coach of Team USA. He was instrumental in creating the USBC Bowling Coaches Certification Program and spent time as a color analyst with the PWBA. And he just has a lifetime passion for the sport. So good on Fred Borden for getting elected to the Hall of Fame.
That was a longer list than Apollo Creed's nicknames.
No kidding, right? Before we get your reaction to that, I do have to bring in the most valued member of our team.
Absolutely.
He is back here. He's donning his favorite gold mask. Probably gonna be a little hot at me for not letting him in the room. But let's introduce the one, the only, the biggest guns in bowling, Dr. Ocho. Good evening, sir.
Listen, you mute. You freaking mutt. You mutant, freaking four-eyed, Popeyes-eating, COVID-having, sloppy-ass, caloric-intaking son of a bee sting. I was so mad I had to I had to put my mask in the dryer, and I don't take my mask off. So that's what took so long. You don't send me the link, and then you get sore at me, making me like I'm the chucklehead when you're the no freaking neck, yet you have a neck beard. How do you have a neck beard and no neck at the same time? Somebody please explain that by the laws of anatomy, space, and time. How does that happen? Why have you not invented the vaccine for COVID yet? You've had it 48 freaking times. I feel sick. I think I got it now. I got it just from being here. All right, I'm out. Now, did you like my cameo in the beginning that I did for you guys? I did a whole cameo. I think I heard you guys talking about it.
Yeah, I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I would like to.
Thanks.
Dr.
Ocho.
For those of you that missed it, here is a special message from PBA champion Kyle Troop.
This is PBA champion Kyle Troop, and you're listening to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. As you know, JP Jr. used to be introduced as the sexiest man in bowling, and now the world. But he doesn't have the best hair in the world. I do. Sorry, bud, but you know the deal. Pick it out. Fear the fro, baby. This is PBA champion Kyle.
Oh, Jesus. Oh,
Shut up.
This is why everybody can they read my title of getting a new host? Because soon there's going to be a new host of Straight Up 5.
Wait, really? What happened? Did he just not send you the link, or did he send it to the incorrect email? What happened?
I don't know.
Here?
I didn't get it. And I'm like, hey, I've been here for freaking 18 minutes, at least 88 minutes even. And he's like,
do you know every single one of your, do you know, even Nicole even wrote, I'll say hi to Ocho when he gets here.
I don't blame her.
I mean, like, you have to, everybody came to see you today. So okay, good. Give them what they want then.
Ouch, I deserve everything that
Twin
you said.
Peaks.
I even had an awesome name set up too, but now we got to get a new host. So I'll use the name next week.
I don't want to embarrass you and share the screen and show that I sent it to the right address to begin with, but that's fine. Maybe it's your computer. Maybe
it's your computer.
Well, Johnny was here, so
anyway,
I don't know.
To answer the last one real quick, as we're going over the Hall of Fames before this
Yes.
gets too far, because I want to see how Ocho is doing. I'm
great.
Shocked that Fred Borden isn't in the Hall of Fame already. Shocked.
Yeah, right. I
Same.
agree. Based on that list, based on his credentials, I absolutely agree with that.
Totally.
But it is well deserved, and I'm sure your dad's known him since fucking forever, right?
Amongst
don't they have
hundreds
chicken?
and hundreds of other top pros. I mean, what were you gonna say, Oach?
Don't they have sandwich meats and something also? Isn't that like a brand of sandwich meat or chicken or something like that?
Cheese,
Borden?
Borden's cheese.
Well,
Yes,
then Jesus, the guy should have been in the Hall of Fame years ago. Of course, this freaking chucklehead would know.
He's in the Wisconsin Hall of Fame for his cheese contribution.
One of my earliest recollections of Fred is when Fred Borden was actually coaching my dad right around the time of my dad's televised 300 in the mid-90s and the early 90s. And at that time, Stonehenge Family Fun Center in Akron, Ohio was one of the pinnacle, beautiful centers. They were just finishing this brand new, really classy restaurant inside the bowling alley and this and that. And that year or around that time, the Youth Masters, which I believe changed to the Junior Masters, whatever they call it now, was being contested in Stonehenge. And Gary Beck and Killer Bee Promotions ran that tournament. And whatever happened with the lane conditions that week, something malfunctioned and they oiled all the way to the pin deck. You couldn't make the ball wrinkle a board from anywhere you threw it in that building. And they gave us all T-shirts that they made up because they felt so bad for the kids. The shirt said, "I survived the great oil spill of 1999 or 98, whatever year it was." But right around that time, Dad and I had
Valdez, right? And that the Valdez or something what was that first spill back in the early 90s?
Look, you're throwing a lot of big words at me, and since
Valdez is a big word. Holy Jesus!
I'm going to take it as disrespect. Watch your mouth.
Should.
To try to thanks, Chris. I'm glad you got my message earlier. I'm sorry I put it on a post that it made no sense to put it on, but you get it. Anyway, we go out to Akron because my dad's having all this success now in his late 40s, and I go out and I took a lesson with Jerry Edwards and Fred Borden. And talk about another coach who should be in the Hall of Fame if she's not in it now is Jerry Edwards. But yeah, I took a solid 2 days worth of lessons out in Akron with Fred Borden. And the one thing that he knew how to do better than anybody was he just had this calming personality about him. He made you feel like you couldn't do anything wrong because the laws of the universe just wouldn't allow it. He would get you so into what you were doing that you believed it before you even tried it for the first time. And that explains why he's got 5 patents, why he's coached in every single country under the sun. I mean, can't believe it took till 2022 to induct him.
Do you think he could get robbed to eat vegetables?
No.
Okay. So there are limits on his repertoire.
Let's get into the USBC class of 2023. We have several inductees that have yet to be voted on yet, but the names on the ballot we have 5 men and 2 women. Named to the women's national ballot are Deandra Asbady. I probably butchered that.
Asbady.
There you go. And Missy Parkin. Selected for the men's national ballot are Dave Ferraro, Brian Goebel, Wes Malott, Randy Peterson, and Mike Scroggins. Again, how are some of those guys not in there yet?
How are they not in there? Again, I don't know USBC credentials as far as performance, but most of the names you just said are going to go in on performance.
Right.
That's if not everybody.
Well, some of them were already in the PBA, right? So is there like this grandfather gimmick or anything, or?
Just because you're a PBA Hall of Famer does not necessarily mean you're a USBC Hall of Famer. This is actually kind of funny, and I'll talk about it here. I remember a long time ago, my dad will kill me for saying this, but no, he won't. He didn't want to be in the USBC Hall of Fame. He just didn't want to be. It's one of the main reasons why he stopped bowling the Masters, even when it was ABC. He just was like, you know what? If I don't bowl any of their events, I'll never get inducted.
They have no reason to put him in. Jesus.
Right. Lo and behold, after all these years, they finally probably said, shit, we never took Johnny Petraglia. He's got a good PBA career. And they took him. And after all the years of him saying, I don't want to be in the Hall of Fame, when it was offered to him, he took it because I guess at the end of the day, it is still an honor. But I wish he would have done what Dolly Parton originally did and said, like, no thanks, because they wanted her in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And she's like, I'm a country singer. For whatever reason she wanted. She didn't want to, like, I wish my dad would have come up with some excuse that he just didn't want to be in the USBC Hall of Fame. But I know, and either way, that first identifiable class that class that's going in, 100%. And I would assume a lot of the USBC credentials is going to be a lot of Team USA members.
Yeah, so, I imagine so. And I wish we could actually find, what the eligibility requirements are. But look, all great pros. I was a big Dave Ferraro fan back in the 80s. Guy was so smooth. Absolutely just one of the smoothest bowlers there are. Obviously, we know Randy Peterson and all that he's accomplished. People might 100%. Not be familiar with Mike Scroggins, but I remember watching him bowling growing up. Everybody knows who Wes Malott is. He's one of the newer guys.
Mike Scroggins had a 2-year run. Come on.
Yeah, a little longer than that, but he did win a couple majors.
He was on TV for a good 4 years, maybe. He had the gimmick on his hand. That was the
the power paw.
You ever notice that his cheeks were always so vasoactive, as they were always so vasodilated? He had big red cheeks as if he was out playing in the snow like 10 minutes prior to every event.
I guess that's kind of shitty to talk about, but yes. I mean,
So you did notice it. That's all. No, look,
yes,
this
I've noticed. I have noticed that Mike Scroggins has rosacea. Yes, I have noticed it.
No. Rosacea means he's probably an alcoholic, so we don't have to go that far. However, well,
yes, I've noticed his cheeks remind me of Santa Claus.
Okay, there you go. See, you added a fun tone to it. Rob's so good, he'll edit that part out, except he won't because his head doesn't even fit in the damn screen anymore. Look at this. What is this camera angle? Jesus Christ. It looks like the camera is enveloping your head. So
let's go over the format and the rules.
He also had...
I'm muting him. No, you're done.
Did he leave or did you kick him out?
No, I just viewed him for a second. What else you have to say, Och?
Go ahead, Och.
No, Ocho had something he wanted to follow up on, so let's. What do you got, Och? Yeah, you're Ocho, right? Nothing. I don't know what's up with my camera. I think I ultra zoomed it for Christ's sakes, but yes.
No, that's smart.
It's okay, Rob. We forgive you.
Yeah, if you guys all just get closer, it won't look that bad. Let's go over the format and the rules of the new PBA LBC National Championships that will be next summer, headed to the greater Milwaukee area. And I always butcher this fucking name of the bowling center. Johnny, what's the Bolero in the Milwaukee area called?
Wauwatosa.
Wauwatosa. Sounds like Wawa.
Excuse me, Rob?
Yeah.
Excuse me. What does LBC, PBA National Championship, what does LBC mean?
Lesbian.
No, there's no way that's correct.
No. Oh, well, I don't know then. Maybe I should have looked that up before I.
Yeah, look at my name. It says, "Oh, how do you wait a second? Bullshit. We're changing."
It's the PBA League Bowler certification. So they're adding PBA League bowlers, giving them a chance to kind of Happy Gilmore it and bowl with the pros. So
there it is.
That's a pretty cool
now
thing.
We're getting somewhere.
The inaugural 2023 PBA LBC National Championships will head to Wauwatosa on Saturdays and Sundays from June 3rd to July 16th, 2023. Players will bowl 6 games and do not need a team to compete. Just pick a weekend to come out and bowl. PBA Hall of Famer Chris Barnes is a huge fan of this. He's a big proponent for making this happen. Like I said, all players will bowl 6 games. Each 6-game total plus handicap, if applicable, will represent a player's score in the singles event. However, bowlers will be able to sign up for additional doubles and team events on site where they can enter and cash an unlimited number of times. The top 50 PBA players from the 2022 PBA National Tour will compete on July 17th, 2023 in the PBA Exempt Division. Any bowler competing in the PBA LBC National Championships will be able to sign up for the doubles and team events with the pros. Discounted priority registration of just $100 is open to PBA League members. So that's kind of cool to give people extra incentive and make it fairly reasonably cheap compared to what you would normally pay for a PBA entry fee. It's really cool that they're doing something to bring more players into the sport. Number one, by certifying leagues, which I'm sure the USBC wasn't happy about that. But letting people bowl with the pros and not being a pro-am and actually have them able to team up and cash and win money, that's a cool gig, right?
I think it's a great idea. It's certainly a way to engage people at a higher level. And you would assume if they do it right the first year or two that it'll probably take off from there and they'll get way more entry fees. I mean, look at the success of the World Team Challenge while it was going. They had hundreds and hundreds of teams at every location.
Yep.
And not to mention, even if you don't make it, it's an excuse to go out with 4 or 5 of your buddies and go do something you love anyway. Now with extra incentive on top of it. You're not going there to get a fucking keychain that says 275 game week, nice bowling. Right. Or have to pay for a 300 ring because they're so common now. I mean, yeah, I think that's actually a beautiful, great idea what they're doing. And I hope it works. I'll put together a team if possible.
Right. Hell yeah, dude.
You would lead off. Ocho would anchor.
Ocho.
And then we'll get Cheeks and Susie to bowl 2-3.
There you go. That's perfect.
And then I'll bowl setup, man.
So the official format. For singles, all players will bowl 6 games across 12 lanes. Players may enter the singles event once. The estimated $500,000 total prize fund will award a guaranteed first place prize of $25,000 for the Open Classic division and $5,000 top prize in the other divisions. Subsequent finishers will be paid on a 1-to-8 ratio, awarding 1 prize for every 8 bowlers who enter. The top 3 players in the Open Classic, Women's Classic, and PBA exempt divisions, along with the leader from the Men's Handicap, Women's Handicap, and Senior Classic divisions, will qualify for the PBA LBC National Championships Clash. The FS1 televised event from legendary Bayside Bowl in Portland, Maine, will feature a $100,000 prize fund. Doubles and team are optional. Bowlers can sign up to compete in doubles and 4-person team events on site. Doubles and team entries cost $50, and bowlers can enter unlimited times in each event. Bowlers can also cash an unlimited number of times in doubles and team events, while each division will award participants at the same 1-to-8 ratio. Double scores will consist of each player's scores from games 1 to 3 of singles qualifying. Team scores will consist of each player's scores from games 4 to 6 of singles qualifying. Bowlers may only select doubles partners or team members who have not yet bowled. Youth participants are not eligible for the doubles and team events. Rules, and this is kind of interesting, and I want your thoughts on this, Johnny.
Wait, what? You're still talking?
Seriously?
wait, you're gonna tell me more and then ask my opinion on it? Let me get a note. Let me get a notepad.
I hope you were paying attention.
Kind of. Yes, I was. Yeah, good.
There will be a limit of 6 bowling balls per participant. All bowling balls are required to satisfy the specifications of the PBA, which can be found under the appendix of the Universal Playing Rules and may be inspected at any time prior to, during, or after competition. Bowlers must document any ball used during competition on the provided ball registration card. Surface adjustments are not allowed once each squad begins. So limiting somebody to 6 bowling balls, is that... Jesus Christ, Ocho. This is not a foot fetish OnlyFans show. Is limiting bowling balls a thing in typical events that you know of?
Sometimes, yeah. And if you're going to have that many, first off, if you're going to have that many people in a bowling center at one time, you don't have the room for everybody to bring in 12 bowling balls, especially if they have to store them in any on-site storage or paddock area. I also like the idea of only having 6 bowling balls simply because it levels the playing field somewhat.
Right.
You know, because if you assume every single bowler that's there has at least 1 urethane ball, I mean, and 1 plastic ball, you really only have 4 to choose from. So selection is key. And then you got to kind of get a little bit lucky. I'm assuming that's why they allow re-entries, because if you're going to limit the tools that are allowed to be used to achieve the ultimate goal, you have to at least allow people to gain the knowledge of what to do the next time they go there if they're trying to do better than the first time. So I think that limiting it to 6 balls is actually a brilliant idea. I've been very vocal about how I think when bowlers go to bowling tournaments, it's overkill with the amount of balls they bring in initially,
right?
Especially for the duration of the tournaments that these guys are bowling. But yeah, all in all, in that little interview we had there of the 45-minute rules and regulations of the LBC and the KYG and POPPNA No Info What's Up VE National Championship, it's good to know that we have all of these rules and regulations in process.
You guys are talking about titles of these tournaments here, and I had a marketing genius title that came on the spot a bunch of years ago. Your dad was talking. We were just shooting the breeze after I knew who he was, and he said he's driving. He always drove to what's called the Ladies and Legends tournament. And I said, "What's the Ladies and Legends?" And he said, "Oh, it's the women's best bowlers going against the legends, the old timer guys." And I said,
"Well, it's a doubles tournament, right, Oaks?"
Yes, right. That's right. And I said, "Why don't they call it the Viagra and Vaginas? And you guys have marketing out the ass. You can have a sponsor on the spot." He thought it was great. And I don't know, it fell on deaf ears, I guess I'd say. But amongst the group, it was called the Viagra and Vaginas amongst us until I guess it faded off in the mid 15s maybe like 2010-ish, 11-ish. Who knows? Do you know when the Viagra and Vaginas tournament stopped?
You know, ironically, when I was a guest on Mike's show last night, we were talking about the Hall of Fame induction for the first college class, and one of my lady picks was Olivia Sanham. She bowled for Wichita State. I miss her terribly, but I haven't seen her in almost 10 years, and it was around that time that her and my dad finished second in that Viagra Vagina doubles tournament, and that was one of the last years that they had it.
So,
And
man,
I don't know why.
Clue we would have had.
And it's crazy the time it went away, because it went away right when all of the big guns were becoming seniors.
That's what your dad was saying too. He said he didn't understand, because it was like, he said he didn't know if it was going to be around for much longer. But then you had, again, this was when Walter was going to be on, and Pete, and they were starting to get right in there. And then
Barnes,
obviously
Mika,
Barnes was
Amleto.
getting there. Parker was coming there. Amleto was the guy that was getting there too. So
yeah,
they would have had a field day. I mean, they wouldn't even needed Viagra for some of those guys. I mean, come on.
It's funny with the name, but it's actually a great topic that you brought up there. I'm very curious and what's crazy about it is, for instance, the Lucy Bonneau strikeout breast cancer doubles is still to this day one of the biggest bowling tournaments you could possibly compete in. Everybody flocks to that tournament. So it's crazy to me that the senior tour, first off, 50 is the new 30, at least the way they throw the bowling ball, and for starters. And number two, God, the talent pool between the women and the seniors alone that'd be more enjoyable than watching the pro tour right now. That's nuts to me. Now
I joke marketing, but like it really would have been like a hodgepodge of the best, and it could have blended into regular bowling, because these guys were still winning on the regular tour recently. I mean, shoot, Duke was still winning as a senior.
Yeah, I mean, there's guys still winning in their 60s or close to their 60s now.
So maybe they do shoot themselves in the foot sometimes with you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. You don't know where the money's at or who said what. And obviously it wasn't sponsored by Viagra or any vagina, but either way, there was plenty of both.
Well, maybe we should start something then.
Look, I'll take 20%, 28%, 18% even.
Put a nice Viagra sticker on the pins. You know, it's a subtle innuendo.
I mean, that really does make sense. I mean, unless you have little floppy pins, like seriously, you know what you do? You have floppy pins on the first ball, and on the spare ball, they're nice and rock solid.
Or you use the string pin setters, so when they get sucked up, they just go swing.
Right, they go straight up. Boom.
That's great. We are on to something.
Ocha, how you doing in your league, buddy?
Oh yeah, we never even thought to ask you about that.
I purposely went on Thanksgiving just to get a feel of the lanes. I slept there. Didn't bowl, but I'm good. I still keep shooting high sixes. I can't help it. High sixes, low sevens. It's not my fault. I got a big red wiffle bat everywhere. Think about it.
You know what's still ironic to me, though, when we say that? In my experience, Howell Lanes was never the easiest house shot around in New Jersey. I mean, compared to bowling alleys like Carolier and Strathmore, the old hill lanes, what else am I missing here? Like in my shore lanes.
Ocean is all I ever hear, but I never bowled there. So.
Like you just anywhere, it doesn't matter. In Howell Lanes, sometimes they hook out of the building. Sometimes they're juiced to the wazoo. But one thing Howell Lanes has, to me, that is just atrocious is the pin decks and the sideboards. Pins, they hit the sideboard there and they fall into the flat gutters like a wet marshmallow. It's crazy.
Is that the way it's supposed to be, though, or did everybody else inflate the freaking springs on the sideboard? Like, I don't know what's the right way, because you got to hit the pocket. I mean, that's the way I look at it. And
I don't know, man, because they have AMF 8270 pin setters there, and typically those were louder. The pins were louder when they were in those pits. And I feel like even when Howell Lanes puts in new pins, the sound of the pins is very dull. It sounds like they got to
should have been more amplified or something due to like I don't know,
more amplified.
Like
they got. I feel like they got to.
Go ahead.
I just feel like they either got to raise the flat gutters a little bit or install new sideboards.
Because I'm at the point where if I throw a ball, I'll 3/4 of the way down, I'm gonna say week 10. You know what I mean? Like I'll know it's gonna be a 10, or because it's not light enough to swish, and it ain't high enough to freaking eat the rack. So I thought that was normal. It's still a house shot. I'm still hitting a pocket with a 10-board freaking area.
Yeah,
Not
totally.
10. You know what I mean? You get it. So you're saying that even at the other places they would carry?
Oh my God, the pins fall very, very weakly at Howell Lanes compared to all of the other bowling alleys in the New Jersey area. Everywhere.
I throw a 40-pound bowling ball though.
The only other place that I know where the pins sound kind of shitty, like they do at Howell, is Shore Lanes. Shore Lanes, but you could strike at Shore Lanes for days, but their pins still sound like dog shit. Whatever that sounds like. But yeah, that was one thing I always noticed about Howell. I've always had a harder time at Howell Lanes than any other bowling alley in that central New Jersey area.
I mean, you would know. I honestly, maybe I would know if I bowled somewhere else, but I'm not. It's too far or too much work to go somewhere else.
Keegan just mentioned, I'm going to try and say that, Kabultur, Kabulture, Kabultur, Kabultur.
A whale's vagina.
Anyway, whatever that bowling alley is, that's how the pins sound up in Westgate when I'm in Mass. It just sounds like a cannon goes off every time. That's the sound I'm looking to hear. Anyway, Howell Lanes.
So even when you kick it high flush, you don't. That's the thing. I wouldn't know the difference really because I've never been anywhere else. So here's
the difference, Oach. High flush, I don't leave a lot of ringing 7 pins there. Like I don't leave. In your case, you shouldn't leave a lot of 10 pins where the 6 pin wraps around the 10 pin.
Sure.
But you probably will leave a lot of 10 pins where the 6 pin lays in the gutter. Like a dead fish.
I get wrapped. No, there's times I do get wrapped out, and we say it's bad geometry. Like that's literally our thing. We come back, just bad geometry. Something might have been off. Something, and like that's I said. Like I know it's going to be a 10 pin when it's weak, but there's times, you do get wrapped, and I just figured that's just bowling, because I'm not a freaking nerd who thinks everything should be a strike, even though I'm that good. Sorry.
All I was trying to say is in that bowling alley, if you were to look at the numbers and see what actually happens there's a lot more flat 10s in that building than there are ringing 10s.
Oh, gotcha. So you have to, at least somebody's here for me.
It's the fourth person that's here for you today. And they weren't even here until you got here, this one.
They shouldn't be. They weren't. Stop enunciating so properly. You look like you're reading off a cue card now.
They were not. This is my voice.
You know how hard it is to put this thing in the freaking dryer when you're wearing it?
I mean, does it get... Do you just leave it on regular temperature, or do you turn it on warm a little bit while you're
I don't
in
fit
there?
that well in there, so that's why
what
I was
I'm
so
saying.
late. I was so sweaty. I had to put it on delicate because look at me. I'm kind of fragile. And I did a dry spin, like a little, the air fluff kind of thing, because I figured I'd get a little more puffed with the air fluff.
Well, you are puffed. I mean, you're more puffed than normal, which is crazy to me. You figure you're raising a child now. You may not have enough time to go take care of Flotsam and Jetsam.
I did 2 Gabriella curls today. That's all it was, and they were doubles. So like they were hammer strength. So it was all forearmness. Fucking. I told
Rad Rob before he came on the show. I said,
"Oh, you mean before he wouldn't let me on the show?"
Yes.
Because you didn't send me the link.
I tried to go to the gym the last 2 days. I trained.
Why?
Just shut up, please. I trained chest yesterday or the day before yesterday, and I trained shoulders yesterday. Dude, I can't move this arm. Like everything. I haven't been sore in so long. Forgot what it was like to be sore. I just wanted to point that out to you.
Well, wait a second. Well, wait. So I assume. All right. So you did isolation muscle groups, right? Like you weren't doing benches where you're freaking banging them out or nothing. Were you doing?
I adjusted the weight accordingly. I typically every time I weight lift, I do a body part a day, and I do high volume, high intensity training. So I'm anywhere from 3 to 4 sets per exercise with 6 to 7 different motions. So I'm anywhere between 20 to 25 sets on every body part.
And you did a full?
I did. Let's see. On chest day, I did 6 motions, 3 sets each for 18 sets with a partner. I brought a work, and I never ever bring a workout partner.
Oh, that's actually. I mean, that's 18 is probably the most I ever freaking do normally.
You sit on a throne of lies.
I agree with that. And then on shoulders yesterday, I was starting to get fatigued pretty early. Shoulder day is usually a big day because I take care of front, side, rear, and top as well as traps. So usually there's 10 exercises on shoulder day with 3 sets each. So it's usually a 30 set day. And yesterday I was able to do 2 pressing motions, 2 side motions, 2 front delt motions, 1 rear delt, and then skipped traps yesterday because
basically, well, yeah, because that's compression. But you're right now your rear delt, unless like if you did the reverse pec deck machine, that's probably the only one that you were stable where you weren't going to hurt yourself. Everything else you had potential
ironically, you know what I tried. Ironically, that you said that is I sat on a bench, a standard bench, and I put the dumbbells under the crease of my legs and leaned over. Because again, my back is not the issue. It's the leg. I know the back is the issue.
But you leaning over was also your freaking detriment too. So I'm just saying. I know it. It's your body, and you know it better than I do. I know the anatomy better. You know your body better.
No, you're right though.
Over was literally your kryptonite.
Well, so far so good. Like I said, I'm just in actual sore pain.
And I know that's where it was going, but I'm also gonna jump on the other part.
Now that I know I'm capable of doing it, I'm really, really gonna take it easy. I was just worried that I was gonna go in there and try one,
and then you were gonna walk out going, "Oh my god, I fucked everything up again."
For another month and a half minimum. Yes, exactly. So I'm happy that that's gone. You know,
it's about time for here.
Sorry. The wings, the peaks.
What are they named? What are they named again, Ocho?
Nothing. You don't worry about nothing, buddy. You don't worry about shit. You just
Flotsam and Jetsam.
Like, do what you're told.
Flotsam and Jetsam popped me when he said that earlier. No, really, where are they? Was it Frankie and Harry or Harry and Sally?
Let Johnny talk, man. It's his show.
No, I think you have Jack Johnson and Tom O'Leary right there.
So we talked about the Hall of Fame and everything. I missed it. Damn.
We got everything. Yeah.
Those guys are well deserved.
Well, now that we know, the one that I was really on the fence about was Pete McCordick.
That's the only guy I knew of. What the hell, man?
Because he bowled 300 on television. That's why.
Damn right.
No. He was the only one I was on the fence about because I didn't know what he was going in for. Because if it was sheer bowling, if it was excellence on the lanes, his numbers are not deserving of the Hall of Fame. But he went in for meritorious service for running one of the regions of the PBA regional program for 25 plus years.
Oh, good
on top of his PBA accomplishments. So well deserved in the meritorious service category. And the other ones,
but he also hit the 300 when there weren't. I'm not discounting a 300 nowadays because it's still hard, but you know, with the way these guys freaking let go of the ball, they've learned to open up the lanes now. I don't know if back in, what was it, 85 that he did it. I remember on Wide World of Sports only because I wasn't even watching bowling. I remember the dude's cheeks were shaking when he was up there for his last throw. And the ball moved about 2 boards and they were like, and it's hooking out of the house. And he freaking buried it. But there weren't, oh, shoot, the cops.
Pizza's here. It was 1987 to be exact, but you're close, Coach.
That's my gym partner. He's at the front door.
No, it wasn't 87. He bowled a 300. There's no way.
Yes, it was 1987. Right, Johnny?
No way. No way.
Say it again. What? Pete McCordick's 300?
1987.
Might have been 89.
85, I would bet. Wasn't 85? Are you sure? What's the date?
It was 1987, I'm telling you.
No way. No way.
You want to put a wager on that there, Sparky?
No, hang on. Will you hold on?
While you're doing that, and while Johnny's dogs are attacking his gym partner, I do want to again thank Kyle Troop for his timely work on that cameo. Real fun stuff. We may have more in the future, so stay tuned for that. I got a few surprises.
It was televised in 87, but maybe they did a freaking tape delay of 2 years.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Ocho.
Sorry about my crazy dog, boys. She goes nuts when I breathe incorrectly.
No, that's fair. That's what little dogs do, and they're annoying as shit, but they're so cute. And yeah.
It's safe to say Stella has short guy syndrome.
Stella.
Oh, getting back to actual bowling, since this is what the show's about, and not just you guys running off at the yap about nonsense.
All right, well, that
So-
wraps up for this week.
What
right.
what number 300 was that? Do we know?
For who?
On the
Pete
telly?
McCordick? 4. On
So there you
ABC
go.
television, Jack Biondello was the first, Johnny Gunther second, Jim Stefanich.
Jim Stefanich. I saw it
Pete
on
McCordick was
Classic Bowling.
And Rob is absolutely right, because Bob Benoit was the 5th, and he did that in 1988. So it was 1987. And then Albee was 1993. My dad was 94. And no, I'm not looking at anything. That's just how fucked up my brain is.
Yeah,
Sure.
I get you. What a loser. Next thing you know, you're gonna know like sports scores or something like that, idiot. So then there's been a lot more lately, clearly, than there were. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been
There's 28 now.
It took 20 years to get to 10, or maybe 40 years to get to 10, and then it took 20 years to get to 48. You know what I'm saying?
Chris Vi had 2, right?
Chris Vi, Ryan Schaefer, Wes Malott, Sean Rash all have multiple televised 300s.
Yeah.
Wes Malott's second and Ryan Schaefer's second came in specialty events. Sean Rash bowled both of his in televised finals, as did not Chris Vi, Francois Lavoie.
I thought Chris Vi had 2. Are you sure?
I may be wrong.
Uh-oh.
I know Chris Vi has a televised 300, but I'm 100% Frankie Lavoie has 2.
Okay, yeah. Speaking of which, I had a televised 300 today.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
Were you throwing a quantum bias pearl, Rob?
No, he ate
No. I
300
took your
wings
advice
at
from last
Popeyes.
week, and I drilled a Zen Master. My first 3
Ooh.
games were 279, 290, and 300. So that's a great ball. I took your advice, and it was the first non-Brunswick family ball I've thrown. But yeah, I won the World Series of Bowling today. So
Which event?
Let's emphasize this is a video game, by the way, where
the actual the cheetah and all that come after the first event is the world championship.
The world champions. So you're a major title holder on your first day out with the Zen Master?
Yep, I have 19 majors and 41 titles overall. So
how much grease do you think is on that controller?
I was gonna say, how much time would it take to complete? How much time does it take to complete one tournament?
With qualifying and match play and step ladder, it takes about 45 minutes.
For one tournament? Okay, I feel better.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like the old PBA
in.
games took like 3 hours per tournament.
No,
Like
true.
I'd have to
Yes.
gear up to
Right.
bowl a tournament a week on Super Nintendo or whatever it was.
No, you are right. One of them takes longer. I believe the regional is like 3 or 4 rounds of qualifying and then match play. And I want to say the U.S. Open may be longer qualifying too, but it's a fun game. I kick Belmo's ass regularly, as well as Marshall Kent. That's why I want to get him back in the show to tell him how much he sucks, and I whip his ass every time I bowl him. So.
Yeah, but you might not catch him on the day he has his good BM that he goes freaking 480 over.
That's true.
I've never seen Marshall have a bad BM. What do you mean by
Bad
BM?
BM?
He talked about his bowel movements when he's on the show, and like when he takes a good dump, like he does really, really well.
Remember, this is what we do on Straight Up 5. We're unfettered, never fettered, and we talk about even life's problems like bowel movements. When you're at a tournament, it's 8 a.m. You got to freaking throw 8 games, but all of a sudden, oh man, my gut is going. Now what do? You got your dude wipes in your bag, but you also already rosined up your hand. So now you got to go in and take care of business. And you got to feel so much better after that. And we touched on that. And these are the things we talk about on Straight Up 5.
Now I didn't see where you were going with it originally. I was saying you made it sound like Marshall might not be in a good mood when Rob says he kicks his ass in the game. And I'm like, you'd really have to piss Marshall off to put him in a bad mood. I didn't realize BM you were talking about.
Oh, BM is bad mood?
What time he shits throughout the day. But actually, now that I think about it, there's been a couple tournaments that I've started practice sessions that, oh my God, if I go to the bathroom now, not only am I going to miss the last 6 minutes of practice, the entire rest of the tournament's going to be in the 5th frame, and my guy's going to be like, where the fuck is Johnny? He's probably in the bar.
You got Hurricane Katrina coming on, and really all you want to do is just, feel better.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is reality, man.
It is. Do we have anything else as we wrap it up here?
No, that was a good show. I'm gonna apologize to Susie again for not calling her back. I got a real bad habit of doing it. She even posted a meme once that said, in New Jersey terms, when somebody says, "Let me call you back," it usually means like don't even bother expecting it. That's kind of what I did to her today, for no other reason other than I just got a little preoccupied in my brain and I'm nuts. So I'm sorry, Suze. And thanks to all of our.
Apologize to me now.
I am not
Ocho.
apologizing to you. I had nothing to do with what happened between you two.
You didn't tell him to get me on here. You didn't really come to my defense there, pal. I thought we were freaking,
When you go back and
you
go back and rewatch this show,
Which he won't.
you're gonna regret what you just said, because I said if anybody is missing this show for even a moment, there has to be a good reason.
Oh, he did say that. Yes.
Also text messaged you to make sure you were okay. So,
and I did too.
Yeah, well, you guys just
apparently
there's a mutual hatred between you two.
I didn't get
there has been for many
JP,
years.
I swear to God, I didn't get one thing from you. I'm not kidding.
Butch Morano,
Who?
my buddy, just called me.
He
just called me. Ocho, where are you?
Ocho, you haven't been in the Facebook group, have you?
Oh wait, I wrote it on Messenger. That's why.
See, I texted his personal phone. His burner phone, actually. But
we have to give a special shout out to John Sperone, one of our regular listeners. John, I'm sorry if you don't want me announcing this, but I'm going to anyway. Facebook has
better to ask for permission than ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. Always remember.
Typically, yes.
Facebook has me banned for another 10 days, but I tried to say hi on the show. Any hopes that I'm feeling better. Thanks, John. Love you, bro.
That's terrible. Why did Facebook ban this fella?
Because he's real, probably.
That's the problem. Hey, was Cheeks in here at all?
Yes, she was. She was here to say hi. I told you missed everybody.
Oh, she sent me a text. It's fine.
You weren't here, so she left. So that shows how much respect she has for you.
Yes, I am. When you are ready, Rob, to wrap it up. And per usual, guys, thanks for being here. Hit the like and subscribe button, please. It helps us out immensely. And always a pleasure spending an hour with you guys here weekly.
Ocho, can you please tell me what your Twitter handle is, please?
I don't have a twirtle handle. You
I hate you.
And happy Thanksgiving.
At the Dr. Ocho, at JPJR07, and at Rad Rob Gaming. We are all on Twitter. Follow us, interact with us whenever we're on. Flotsam and Jetsam are leaving the building.
Jack
Isn't it
Johnson,
amazing though? Like, he's got a dad bod, but he still has the biceps. So it's pretty impressive.
He just has a mid 40s belly. Everything else is fine.
The camera don't ever go below here, as you notice.
Nothing else does either. So.
Lately.
He just keeps smiling. I can see him smiling through
his eyes
while he's just holding it. What's up, Troy? Good to see you, dude.
Troy, what's up, buddy? We're wrapping up. But
you don't even know when I freeze or not. I had you guys fooled that I was frozen in time, damn it.
That you did. That was amazing.
That was
amazing.
He is right about that. So, everybody that hung out with us tonight, we appreciate you being here on YouTube and Johnny's.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Your life is spinning out of control.
As we wrap up the show here with our theme song, we do appreciate everybody showing up here tonight on YouTube. Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please go to that channel and subscribe. Our archives are on there. And as well, if you want to listen to our audio podcast, which has every single of our 52 episodes. Well, once I upload this one, our 51 episodes are up right now.
Yeah, what are you waiting for? Seriously, are you guys kidding me? Do you know what you freaking missed? You missed Johnny Sr. on here telling about his 300. We got a video of it. How freaking stupid are you nerds? Are you kidding me?
He's got a point.
He's right. Yeah, no, he's right. The aforementioned Marshall Kent was on our show as well. Brianna Clemmer was on our show.
Afro mentioned?
Dr. Ocho.
Oh, Kyle Troop is the Afro mentioned. That's right.
Guys, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for showing up this week. We'll see you next week for another edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Can't help himself tonight. I love it.
Good night, everybody.
Later.